Yo, it's Mac from Everyday Nobody's podcast. I know you see the title, so let's get straight to it. Dame Dash is a genius. Maybe. He's either the biggest marketing genius I've ever seen, or he's one of the biggest dickheads to ever have a mic in his face. I'm not sure yet. I gotta wait till the play fully unfolds. Trust me, I know. A lot of people think he's an idiot, he's broke, he's making himself look like a fool, but it's just hard for me to believe that somebody as business-minded as him would make all this noise and not have a product to sell. Plus, I've been watching content so long, I think everything's a rollout. I think everything is a chance for somebody to sell you something. That's why I don't think he's stupid. This seems pretty calculated. Let's just pay attention to what he's done over the last couple months. Is he embarrassing himself? Yes. Is he bringing attention to himself? Absolutely. And of course, we're going to get to this Breakfast Club stuff, but I want to get to everything that led up to this point. All right, so let's think about it. He owes a lot of money. He didn't want to give up his portion of Rockefeller. Everything seems to be closing in on him, right? He's being sued for like $800,000 for some movie. There's a lot going on, right? Then all of a sudden, Dame Dash starts antagonizing 50 Cent. But when he did it, he was like, let's put our products up together. Let's see who has the better product, right? And then his teeth fell out his mouth.
You the real deal. Just see me, see if I'm the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hold on. Oh, God. Here, talk to him for a second. You're not saying nothing. Hold on. So download America. All right.
I mean, literally, his whole fronts fell out of his head mid-sentence. Do I think that was on purpose? No. But I think that he said, you know, it's cool, we'll just let it ride, because he knew that would bring attention. And he knew he may be able to garner something for his fans to come watch his shitty movies. Okay? I don't think it was necessarily calculated, but I do think he kept it going because he was like, you know what? If this brings attention to my project, so be it. It didn't work out how he thought it would, but maybe he did get a little motion. If it didn't do nothing else, it at least got everybody talking about him. That goes from Breakfast Club all the way to Vlad TV. Like, this was all everybody would talk about. His teeth falling out of his mouth.
It's gonna be hard.
Look, man, at the point that I saw the Dame had no teeth, I just, whatever animosity I had towards him went away.
Dame just want to give you a fair one, bro.
Yeah, you want to fight me?
Dame just want to give you a fair one, bro.
We'll see what happens. If we ever run into each other.
Yo, bro, that'd be a fun, yo. That's the you know it costs $60 to watch a fight. Yeah, I would definitely pay $60.
Me and Dame Dash go at it. Well, I can't knock his teeth out.
Then he starts doing interviews with the Art of Dialogue, and now he's starting to get more visibility. Maybe not for the best reasons, but he is getting more visibility. And like I said, I think there's always something to sell with him. So this is a good move. Then he gets into it with Cameron. Now, why is this important? It's important because it was orchestrated. I was just watching Cam the other night, and he said, yeah, Dame called me and said, hey, you know, I want to orchestrate something. I'm going to say something about you, referring to 50 Cent, that he patted your pockets. And Cam was like, I don't care, whatever, just do it. The only thing is, when Dame and Cam agreed on it, Dame did a little bit of a bait and switch. He was like, hey, I'm going to say this, but when he actually talked about the 50 Cent situation, he made it seem like Cam was soft.
Stupid, to be honest with you. But to me, this has been one big setup. I will say that. I think this whole from the jump is a setup, bro. And this is what he does, right? And I said this before, but I'm going to reiterate it since this is lingering and going on. Dame is beefing with 50 Cent on the internet. I bump into 50 Cent. 50 Cent sees me and be like, Killer, what's up, nigga? Getting some money. You know how what you used to do back in the days, pat in your pocket, you getting that money? Cool. Me and 50 good. We ain't got no problem. Dame calls me and says, yo, I seen 50. How you gonna let him pap you? This is verbatim what Dame said. I'm telling the audience verbatim. Yo, I seen 50, you and 50. How you gonna let him pap your pockets? That ain't Harlem. You down with the Pap Pap Club? How you down with the Pap Pap Club letting niggas pat your pockets? I said, Dame, you crazy, whatever, man. However you want to say it's crazy, man. He says, me and 50 going through something on the internet right now. You mind if I bring that up and say that he was padding your pockets? I say, Dame, I don't give a whatever. Now, mind you, pause this story right there. If you going to say something about 50 cents, what are you calling me for to get my okay if you're beefing with 50 cents? You shouldn't even have to call me about that if you're going to be talking about 50 cents. Unpause the story. Dame gets on the blog and says, yeah, and this Cam let 50 Cent smack him on the ass. Not the Pap Pap Club, not the pockets, which, Cam, that ain't Harlem. How you let a smack you on the ass? But then again, what you supposed to do when a big, strong nigga come over and slap you on the ass? I'm like, bro, that's not what I agreed for you to say. But pause.
He completely changed the story. And that's when Cam was like, okay, so we lying now? All right, let the games begin. And then Cam just started going at Dame. Nonetheless, what I don't want to be lost is this was orchestrated. And Cam was in on it until he wasn't. Once again, though, was this a good thing? Possibly, because it brought more attention to Dame. Nobody was thinking about Dame. But now, like I said, he's being sued for like $800K that he doesn't have. Any attention is good attention. So now let's fast forward to him slandering all Rockefeller podcasters / Joe Budden. Dame said, look, everybody who was signed to Rock is like the highest of the highest podcaster now. He's like, at one point, we made fun of the media, and now you guys are the same chatty patty media that we made fun of back in the day. Joe did not like that.
Dame said that all of the hot podcasters are Rockefeller podcasters.
Right. Okay. But he was lamenting that. He was basically saying that, like, we had this hot thing going on, and instead of having these artists who are pushing the culture and advancing the culture and laughing at the journalists and laughing at the media, now y'all have become the media. Y'all become the people. Talking about Cam, Mace, him, Nori.
He said, I thought all of y'all were rock stars, not chatty little bitch. My name should have nothing to do with that. I was Rockefeller for 79 seconds. And I keep it a secret. It's not something that I run around promoting or I'm proud of. I ain't released an album on Rockefeller. I ain't put a song out on Rockefeller.
Didn't get a rock chain?
I didn't get a Rockefeller chain. I didn't get a Rockefeller cup of coffee.
You got some spanky?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a Rockefeller penny. So when you having these Rockefeller conversations, and Hove don't even recognize me in the Rockefeller. It's always Dame talking. Keep me out of that. I'm not a Rockefeller rapper, artist, podcaster. I don't have nothing to do with none of that. Carlene barely buzzed the gate when I was at the
Who's that?
Yeah, Carlene ain't one of
Joe guy's here again.
Hey, when over Carlene was back there. Yeah, so I love Dame. Like I said, I'll never have a negative word to say about him. He's loaned me money out of his pocket. I won't say nothing bad about him. But please, I'm not Rockefeller nothing. I don't claim it. I'm not repping it. You might shouldn't be repping it. No. But that's not my business. That's not my business. A Rockefeller podcast. Are you crazy, Dame?
Well, it's gossip.
We not cool enough for you to dictate nothing about my actions. Hey, anybody out there that think we cool enough for y'all to dictate how I move, that's triggering for me. That's been a problem with me since pre-K. I'm rebellious. I'm whatever the grain is in my blood and DNA to be against it. We just made up that way. Sorry. The out of here. But that's my man, so I don't have nothing negative to say about him. And don't make it seem like I came and started this shit when it was in season, when it was trendy and fashionable.
That was what I didn't like about it.
You telling the Joe Budden story wrong. Don't tell my story. You not qualified to tell it. Shut the up or deal with them. Deal with the you have that type of history with. My stint was for a minute and a half.
And honestly,
ticked me off when he said that. He dropping my name and shit has nothing to do with me.
He was like, yo, I was barely a part of Rockefeller. So don't bring my name in whatever monkey shit you and Cam got going on. Once again, I don't know this to be true, but it seemed like Joe got a little too peeved over something that's so small. So then I started to think, okay, well, if he orchestrated it with Cam, And why wouldn't he orchestrate this with Joe? And I also say that because not only did Joe get too upset about it, Joe has on multiple occasions said, hey, Dame Dash looked out for me. Dame Dash was nothing but a gentleman. So it makes sense to me that Joe would bring attention to what Dame Dash got going on. So in my mind, this is calculated, whether Joe knew or Joe didn't. But I would be surprised if Joe didn't know, because everything's a rollout. Then comes the finale. Dame, Charlemagne, and DJ Envy, they finally clash. They had been chatting and talking crazy about each other. And then they said, you know what, finally, let's meet up and let's have the conversation. This is one of the biggest interviews in the hip hop space. Did Dame Dash contradict himself a million times? Absolutely. But once again, he got the attention that he needed. Now, out of all the outrageous things that Dame said, there's two important statements that he made.
I'm now the chairman of Revolt right now, and I also I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman of Revolt.
I got you. So I'm now the chairman of Revolt with a pathway. You see, because he wants to trigger me, and I want you to acknowledge that. So I'm now Cam's boss, the chairman of Revolt with a pathway to acquisition. I've been trying to buy Revolt.
How do we know this is not Cap? We didn't see this on Deadline.
Deadline didn't make the announcement for this particular situation. They didn't want to. I had an announcement I was going to make with BT, but Paramount stepped in and they said do it later, and they didn't want to be a part of this mess. But it will be in something. This gets played tomorrow, so the announcement will be in the trades tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to buy Revolt, and I also just did a 25 episode deal for my podcast for Bosses Take Losses, and I'm putting all my content on Revolt.
Dame was already exposed, right? They said he's not going to be the chairman of Revolt. Lauren LaRosa dropped it because she spoke to somebody from Revolt, and then the actual CEO of Revolt came out and said, yeah, this never happened. This is not true. Don't be alarmed. But I don't think that was what was important. I think what was really important about that was Dame said he's going to have his content on Revolt. Dame has his own version of like your Tubies, your Netflix, your Revolts. He has a channel dedicated for his movies. What's the problem? Nobody cares. Nobody's ever actually watched a movie from there. Like the shit's not moving. I know he wanted to, kind of go against Netflix, but every time you hear him, he's about, oh, Kevin Hart don't support me, even though I helped him come up. This person don't support me, even though I helped him come up. This person, this person, this person. So if he owes money and they're trying to take his assets, you know what? I got to fold. I got to concede. Let's try to get on Revolt. Remember, the CEO never denied that he's going to have stuff on the Revolt channel. So that's a win. And now he's brought attention to it because people are going to log on to Revolt. They're going to see Dame stuff, and then they're either going to hate watch it or they're going to watch it because they want to support him. Either way, it's a win. And that's what I think the bigger play was. I know, right now it's just cool to shit on Dame, but I think he may have been thinking long run. Because even with the CEO coming out, you've just brought attention to the fact that he's going to be on Revolt. And now, once again, I think everything's a play. I think DJ Envy and Charlemagne was all in on it. They knew what they was going to get. Dame going to show his and then they're going to be able to have this kumbaya moment at the end. So I just think this was all a play. I think we've all been fooled. And I hope it works out for Dame, because as much of an unbearable human being he is, I hate to see him like this. And that's why, while everybody's calling him dumb, I think he's a marketing genius. But we got to wait and see. We got to see, does he actually put the work out? Because if he follows all this bullshit with some product that goes on Revolt, that's a win. And this is coming from somebody who I do not like when people do that. I don't like when people manufacture beef because they got a product to sell. But when you do it so flawlessly that everybody's distracted by everything else, that they don't even realize that this is what happens, I respect it. Now I just got to see if there actually is some work, if there's some product. And if there is, and people start watching, whether it's hate watching or out of love, Dame won. He won while everybody's calling him stupid. But what do I know? I'm just an everyday nobody. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think this is a play? Do you think everything is to be sold? Everything is product? Or do you really think Dame is a fucking idiot? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Hey, help me run that up. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subs. I'm out. Peace.